Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video I wanted to talk again about 5 attacks or strategies and how you can fight against them. And I'm gonna start to talk about a certain strategy that will come up a lot when you're fighting against Abigail and Birdie, and these two characters specifically. You might have already figured out what I wanted to talk about, and it is when you knock these two characters down and you go for a throw on Wakeup, right? Throwing these characters on Wakeups is good because they have armored attacks, and of course the armor is throwable, right? So if Birdie or Abigail try to wake up with an armor, they can just get thrown. What I'm talking about is this, when they jump over you as they are waking up. And the reason that this is dangerous with these two characters in particular is that they have a really short jump arc. So when they jump over you in this scenario, they will cross you up, right? Other characters, like if Poison did the same thing, she will jump over you and she will be really far away and unable to do a cross-up attack. So how can we deal with this? Well, there is a way, and what you want to do is you want to option select another option with your throw, right? So let's check out this sequence. If I try to wake up with an armor, I got thrown regularly, right? But what happened if I try to jump? Notice that Poison did her jump back air target combo. Look at Poison's inputs, right? She is doing the throw and then immediately holding up back. Because if I get thrown, fine, nothing comes out. And if I didn't get thrown or if I jumped over her, she would anti-air me, right? This is really good. And this is not even the best answer. Of course, this situation is character specific. Most characters can do jump back into air to air, but some characters have really good options. Someone like Poison can do something like this on Wakeup. Again, if I just don't move, I get thrown, and if I try to jump over her, she will do light kick heal, and that will anti-air me. And for Poison, this is actually really good, because check out this sequence. Let's do it again. I'm gonna try to jump on Wakeup now. And then she can get a super out of that. So for Poison, this is really good. This is something that you kinda have to lab out, but the idea is the same. Do your throw. If the throw hits, or even if it gets tagged, due to the animation, your other input will not come out. If they jump over you, your next action will immediately kick in, and you will be able to hit him, or hit Abigail or Birdie, and punish them for that jump. And now the attack that I'm gonna talk about is the Guile dreaded 50-50. The Guile 50-50, of course, is when he is super close to you, point blank, and he is mixing up the upside down kick and of course regular throw. Of course, the upside down kick is throw invulnerable. You cannot throw Guile out of it, and if it happens to land, he will get a combo on you. And of course, he can do the same thing but throw you, right? It's a really annoying 50-50. And the reason that this 50-50 is super good is because the upside down kick is -2 on blocks. It's completely safe. But there are two things that you have to know here. The first thing is the upside down kick is not airborne. He is grounded during it. So let's repeat the same sequence again, but I'm gonna try to hit Guile on Wakeup. Notice that Guile got hit grounded. He didn't get a reset, right? The second thing is that it have lower body invincibility. So if I try to hit him with a low, if I try to hit him with my crouching light kick, he will just hop over it. So this tells us that if we are expecting a read that Guile is gonna try to do an upside down kick, what you can do is challenging him with a jab, and note that you will get a counter hit combo because the upside down kick is slow. It can't be used as immediate because it's a really slow attack. So what you can do is challenge. Instead of just blocking or taking the throw, you can actually try to challenge if you have the read. And if you do, you can get big conversions. So for example, with Chun-Li now, I'm gonna challenge on Wakeup, and I'm gonna get a conversion like that one. Reverses the corner situation, and that is now really good for me. Of course, you have to have a read on this. It's not like a true punish, but it is the best that you can. It's the best that you can get out of this mix-up. Honestly, as a defender, this is as good as it's gonna get for you. So now for our number 3, I wanted to talk about Zeku and the use of switch stance or switch cancels when he switches from young to old or old to young, and the use of it on block string. A lot of Zeku players love to play a little bit nutty and abuse this on block strings when they really shouldn't, because it's really not that good. So let's check him out. If young Zeku or old does standing medium punch and then cancels to young, notice that this is -7. So he actually gets punished here, right? If he does crouching heavy punch into switch stance, notice that this is -4. So he actually also does get punished here. Let's see another one. Now young Zeku will do standing heavy punch and switch to old. Notice that this was also -7. So when he does this, the timing is a little bit weird on that one, but he also gets punished. The block stun is a little bit weird on his standing heavy punch switch cancel, but he still gets punished. Standing light kick, notice this one. This one is a really common one, and it is -15 on block. So he does get heavily punished. So overall, the only safe, and it's the only plus on block one, and the one that's actually only safe, is doing standing heavy punch into the stand switch from old to young. This particular sequence, standing heavy punch into the stand switch, he's gonna be +1, and this is the only one that's safe. If you ever see a Zeku player abusing the stand switches like that, make sure that you are checking them, because honestly, they are not nearly as good as they seem. They're just trying to overwhelm you and confuse you. And now for our 4th attack, I wanted to talk about specific strategies that happens a lot with Chun-Li, especially with V-Trigger 2. One of the things that Chun-Li got buffed during the season is having a crouching medium kick into heavy kick Hakuratsu knocking down. So many Chun-Li player will now try to walk up and do crouching medium kick into heavy kick Hakuratsu, right? And if she have V-Trigger, she can actually get really good conversions out of that. And if you happen to block this, let's say it's blocked and Ryu is not doing any actions, it happen to get blocked, she can make it safe, right? It's gonna be -2, it is safe. And this technically is safe if you happen to block all of that, but you don't actually. And I'm here to tell you what you should be doing. So of course, heavy kick Hakuratsu by itself or heavy kick legs, this is -10 on block, right? So if you happen to block this, it is massively punishable, so she will try to do the V-Trigger Kikosho. So let's check out a couple of options that Ryu can do on block and see what punishes what, right? If Chun-Li does heavy kick Hakuratsu and then try to do V-Trigger, notice that the 3 frame will stop it every single time. So if Chun-Li ever try to make her heavy kick Hakuratsu safe, she's gonna get punished by 3 frame. So this is number 1. If you happen to block it, make sure that you are mashing on your 3 frame to be able to punish that. Now let's check out what a 4 frame can do. If we repeated the same sequence, but we did a 4 frame, we get a trade. So a 3 frame character can get a punish, a 4 frame character will get a trade. Now what happens if you have a meterless DB, like Ryu of course? The meterless DB, given that it is faster than 10 frame startup, this will outright beat this sequence every single time. Something like Ryu standing heavy or heavy punch DBs that have invincibility after the 3rd frame, and given that it is faster than 10 frames, is gonna punish this every single time. So if you have a 3 frame, you can absolutely just punish her out of this. If you have a DB that is faster than 10 frames, that is most Shotos, you can absolutely punish Chun-Li for that. If you have a 4 frame, you honestly can even get the trade. And it's not a bad trade because Chun-Li just wasted around 1/3 of her V-Trigger bar on trying to make a move unsafe, and worst case scenario, it's not even a bad trade. And now for the final attack of the day, I wanted to talk about Falke's V-Trigger 2. Falke's V-Trigger 2 is a really interesting V-Trigger. The activation is kinda whack in my opinion, but the V-Trigger itself is actually pretty nice. And what I wanted to talk about is her overhead special move in this V-Trigger. It's actually really good because it can be cancelled from almost everything, and when she does that, she is plus on block. So for example, Falke can do something like this. the overhead is gonna be +3 on block, so that's really good. This sequence, for example, if you block the forward heavy punch, try to take back your turn, she will launch over your attack, and then she can get decent combos out of that, right? So it's not too bad. It's pretty decent V-trigger in all honesty. So about the sequence, what can we do? We just said that the overhead, it's an overhead of course, and it is +3 on block. But if you notice, the overhead is extremely slow. So whenever it's cancelled from something, you can always anti-air here. So during this sequence, you can do something like standing heavy punch, standing heavy kick. Of course, you can armor through if you want. There are many options that you can do here. When Falke does her overhead out of a cancel in this V-trigger, you just have to challenge it. Same scenario here. Just go for your anti-air of choice and you will be able to deal with it. It's a really good V-trigger. It's a decent overhead, but again, it is really slow, so it is pretty interruptible. You just have to build some muscle memory for that, because it can catch you off guard when you fight that one Falke you will come across online. And that is pretty much it for today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.